My name is Luca, and this is what remains of my sanity after what I saw, what I felt. Every word I record here is a struggle, because the shadows hunt me even now, even in my own mind. 3 weeks ago, my life changed forever. I decided to explore the ruins of Monte Cristo, a cursed place in the southern mountains, where the locals whisper of disappearances and voices that shouldn't exist. They warned me not to go, that something ancient and ravenous lurked there. But my curiosity won out. I carried a crumpled map, bought from an old man who trembled like a leaf as he handed it to me, and ventured into those forgotten lands until I found the door. It was a gray afternoon, the sky covered with clouds so thick they seemed to swallow the light. The wind carried a scent of damp earth and something else, something putrid I couldn't identify. I pushed through rocks covered in black moss, guided by the faded marks on the map. Branches crunched under my boots, and for a moment I thought I heard footsteps behind me. But when I turned, there was only silence, a silence too deep. After hours of searching, I found the cave. The entrance was hidden behind black vines that seemed to writhe like living snakes. I parted them with my knife, and there it was, a stone door carved with symbols that appeared to bleed faint light, as if the rock itself were alive. I don't know why I did it. Maybe it was exhaustion, maybe obsession. I turned the rusted wheel with all my strength, and a creak echoed like a muffled scream, reverberating through the cave. The door opened slowly, releasing a stench of rot in a frigid wind that sliced my skin like blades. The air was thick with a low hum, like a lament that burrowed into my bones. On the other side, I saw no world of wonders, only an infinite darkness, broken by figures writhing in the shadows, their shapes indistinct but brimming with malice. My flashlight trembled in my hand, and before I could retreat, a strange impulse dragged me through. The door slammed shut behind me with a thud that I felt in my chest, and I knew I had made a mistake from which there would be no return. The ground beneath my feet was cold and slick, as if coated with something viscous. The hum grew louder, and from the shadows emerged a gaunt figure. It was a woman, or what remained of one, with skin peeling like melted wax and hollow eyes glowing with a sickly light. She introduced herself as Illyra, but her voice was a whisper that slithered into my skull, promising pain. She told me I had opened the forgotten door, a millennia-old seal containing the Devourers, entities from an eternal void that feast on souls. Before I could process it, the ground shook violently. From the depths rose the creatures, amorphous forms with pulsating tentacles and mouths full of jagged teeth, their skin black as coal, and their shrieks piercing my ears like needles. I felt a chill creeping under my skin, as if something were trying to possess me from within. Illyra threw me a broken dagger, its blade etched with runes that seemed to bleed, and muttered that we had to seal the door with blood. My blood. I had no time to ask. The shadows lunged and I ran, stumbling in the dark. I spent days fleeing, or so I think. Time there has no meaning. The stone walls seemed to close in, dripping with a black liquid that burned on contact. I found refuge in a damp cave, where I discovered a moldy journal. The pages, written by a previous guardian, described how the Devourers had destroyed their world. They spoke of a ritual to seal the door, but it required a sacrifice, the life force of someone willing to remain trapped forever. The final lines read, "I heard my name in the darkness, and knew they had found me." Each night the creatures drew closer. Once a claw grazed my arm, leaving a mark that oozes and burns. Illyra followed me, her empty eyes fixed on me, repeating, "It's your turn." Her whispers blended with those of the Devourers, who chanted my name in a maddening chorus. After what felt like weeks, I found a path to an underground crypt, its walls covered with carvings of contorted faces. There, on a pedestal, was the black crystal, pulsing like a diseased heart, emitting a beat that echoed in my chest. Illyra insisted it was the key to closing the door, but the creatures surrounded us, their bodies leaking a viscous fluid that dissolved the stone beneath. With trembling hands, I placed the crystal into the door's slot. A black light erupted, and the Devourers roared, charging at me with unleashed fury. Their claws tore through the air, and one pierced my shoulder, ripping a scream from me. Alira pushed me toward the portal, but not before one of the creatures whispered in my ear, "We will take you with us." I fell to the other side and the door slammed shut with a crash that shook the cave. I returned to my world, but I wasn't whole. The wound in my shoulder won't heal. It seeps a black liquid that smells of death. At night I see their eyes in reflections, feel their whispers in my head, promising their return. The crystal remains with me, pulsing, and sometimes I think it speaks, urging me to open the door again. I've tried to destroy the map, but it always reappears in my backpack. The villagers avoid me now, claiming my eyes glow in the dark. I don't know if I'm alive or just a shell the devourers are using to return. If anyone finds this account, run. Burn the map. Because if you open that door, it won't just be you who's lost. The void will come for us all.
Subscribe to Horror Story Bar.